We're going to talk about babies, abuse, and law of attraction. There's 5 key points here. I made notes because this is such an important topic. It's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, especially people who are at a place of wrapping their mind around why did this really bad thing happen to me? I didn't ask for that. I was just a baby. So I took notes, so bear with me as I look down because I want to cover this topic as in-depth for you guys as I possibly can to give you some closure. So there's 5 key things here. First, you will never be satisfied. 2, the most important thing is your internal guidance system. 3, I'm going to cover how was abuse even possible in the first place? And why do some babies have healthy parents and some babies get trauma instead? And the 5th thing, I may have messed up on my fingers there, apologies, but the 4th thing, aren't babies pure positive energy born connected to source? Why did they even attract something bad in the first place? That can leave you guys in a wobble of if a baby attracted and they're pure positive, I'm now an adult, I'm not, great, now I'm doomed for a life of yuck. Okay, so I'm going to talk about those 4 things for you guys today. And the first thing, let's go into that one in more depth now. You are never going to be satisfied with this answer. You're never going to be satisfied with how abuse is possible for a baby. But that's the point. You have an internal guidance system. Does it feel good? Does it feel bad? Is it a yes for you? Is it a no for you? Does it feel good? Does it feel bad? The fact that you are never going to be satisfied with this answer is proof that your internal guidance system is working. Who actively wants to see a baby hurt? Perhaps there's some people who are caught up in a lot of trauma, they had a lot of bad stuff happen to them, so they maybe feel powerful. That's not the person watching this video, though. That's not you. So the fact that you are dissatisfied with it proves that your internal guidance system is guiding you. That's a not fun thing for me. So the most important thing that you want to take away from this, we're moving on to point 2, is your internal guidance system. You have to be willing to wrap up your childhood as that was an unsatisfactory experience, and I never want to experience anything like that again. So I'm now going to go towards a path of empowerment, a path of choice, a path of where I get to choose what happens, what doesn't, who I spend time with, who I don't. Because when you're younger and you're going through childhood abuse, more than likely, it could have been enmeshment trauma. It could have been a lot of different types of trauma and abuse. A core kind of common theme again with all of them is the parent kind of taking advantage of the situation, the parent being the one who knew better, could do things, and the child at a completely disempowered state. The parent, when they use the child to meet their needs, the child is tapped into their yeses and their nos, right? You see little kids when they're running around, they're just play, play, play. Okay, we can't do that. Here's the next fun thing we could do. Here's the next fun thing we could do. So babies are tuned in, tapped into their internal guidance system, to source, whatever word you guys want to put to that. They get guided away from their internal guidance system, right? So when the kid's like, let's go play, Mom. Well, don't you want Mom to feel good? Don't you want me to have fun too? It's not always about what you want, right? When you have like a little 2, 3, 4-year-old, they go, oh, right? And plus, they're at a disempowered state because they literally cannot meet all of their needs, right? They can't work. They can't, depending on how young you are, you can't cook your own food. You're too young to even grow your own food. So they're at a disadvantaged state where they kind of have to actively say no to their yes. No, I don't want to play. I want to sit next to you, Mom. No, I don't want to play. I want to cuddle you, Mom. So there's just years of momentum built up of learning to not trust your internal guidance system. This might be hard for some of you to hear. The trust broken is not necessarily because of your parents. I can't trust because my mom never treated me right. I can't trust because my dad, blah, 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 blah. That is true. They did things where they were empowered and you were disempowered. If you are at a place where you actively take control back of your life, you've got to be willing to go, that was a no. That was an unsatisfactory, can't say that word right, guys. I'm unsatisfied with that experience. It was a horrible experience. I didn't like it. It did not feel good. I'm going to allow myself to actually label those things as bad, feeling, emotional things. And I'm going to now allow myself to vibrationally reset so I can get tuned back into what a yes is. So universe, start delivering things that feel good to me so that I can start recalibrating to saying yes to yeses. You might even be at a state where you forgot what feeling good feels like. If you had years of being parentified, of having to take care of your parent, you lost track of what felt good to no fault of your own. Now it's time to recalibrate yourself and recognize that you were in a state where you actively had to say no to yeses, right? If you wanted to go run and play, but mom was like, I'm depressed. Why do you want to go run and play? Don't I feed you? I put the roof over your head and you can't even come over here and cuddle me? Don't I do enough for you? Then you feel shamed and guilty for wanting to do that good feeling thing. Go play, hang out with your friends, whatever it was. Go do your art. You were shamed and like, oh, I'm not nice enough. I don't have to be in a relationship. I'm being mean to mommy. And oh, you want to cuddle? And then you go and cuddle them. And then maybe you were cuddling for like 8-10 hours. And you had to, if you were there cuddling, you didn't want to be doing it. But you had to act like you liked it. So that's the biggest piece of trust. It's about rebuilding trust with yourself, about rebuilding your connection to your internal yes and your no, and about being okay with saying no, and about being okay with saying yes. You got to be okay with saying no to others, right? If they're in crisis and they're in tragedy. You got to be okay about starting to prioritize. My sleep matters. I can no longer, yes, I can save you. It has to be, I actually need rest because if I don't rest tonight, I'm not going to do a good job tomorrow. So your key focus here is you have to start prioritizing well-being, which means a calm, smooth mind, not a racing one, not flashbacks running through your head of everything bad happened in the past, not that doubt, do I do this, do I not? Because that's all doubt is, guys. When you were younger, you had to say no to your yeses because you had to go take care of mom and dad. You had to say yes to no's. Of course I want to cuddle you, mom. I do. And you had to act like you liked something that you didn't like, that you didn't want to do. So now that you are empowered, first step, get financially independent. Get to a place where you're financially dependent on yourself, or at least move in with a different family member or something else who's truly just there for you, and then start this work. So I want to give you one little exercise you could do here before I go on to the other 2 points. You have to start with setting a timer for 15 minutes where your focus is on relaxing all the muscles in your stomach. If you're used to being on guard, right, hypervigilant, hypertending to someone, your muscles clench. So you want to start just rewriting that for yourself. It's okay to be safe. It's okay to be relaxed in my body. It's okay to not always be thinking about other people and what they need. It's okay to start allowing some of my needs to come up. And you do that by relaxing all the muscles in your belly to start training your body to what well-being and what a neutral state of being feels like. You're going to want to do that for weeks, guys, just every day. 15 minutes, set a timer, relaxing all the muscles in your body, especially your stomach area, the solar plexus area. You will probably cry some tears of relief. It will feel really good. Once it doesn't provide as much benefit as it did in the beginning, then you want to move on to the second stage of this, is when you ask yourself, is this a yes? Is this a no? You want to start getting tuned into yourself. You'll likely feel it. It depends where you're at in your life, but you'll feel it in your body. You want to get to the point where you feel it in your chest. Do I want to eat this apple? Does your chest kind of loosen up, feel a little more free, maybe glow a little, maybe sparkle a little, feel neutral? Or do you get a clenching? Do you get a heavy feeling? Do you get a sinking feeling? For those of you who are you had unemotionally available parents, you're going to be emotionally numb yourself. So this is a practice. When I first started doing both of these, this was my spiritual practice for 2 or 3 months. And the first month, I didn't even feel anything. So I just went ahead, okay, I want to eat the apple. But I didn't feel anything. After about a month, then I started, oh, I don't want to eat this. So you want to do that practice, though. First, be okay if you don't get your yes or no. You don't get the feeling in your body. It's a practice. It's a new skill. Just like a baby keeps standing when it's trying to learn how to walk. You got to keep practicing the practice, and eventually you will get good at it. And it'll be this is a no for me. Oh, this is a yes for me. You'll have to learn more to actually be able to say no. If you're used to being a people pleaser, there's more for you to do to be able to say no. That will be a future video. But I want to give you a couple practices now so that you can start recalibrating right here, right now. It's better to be at a conscious place of, I don't want to do this thing. I know that because that keeps you in alignment with yourself. I do not want to do this thing. So this will greatly benefit the people who still have to live with the people who are being abusive, mean. I don't want to cuddle mom for 10 hours. I'm actively choosing to fake it so that she keeps peaceful and doesn't go crazy. Because then you're at least in alignment with yourself and not lying to yourself, so that when you get older and you can move out, you don't have to do the work I told previously. You're just, yeah, that was a no, and now I feel great that I can say no to no's. I never want to do that again. Mom, I live out on my own. Okay, you guys got that. So let's go into the third point. How was abuse even possible in the first place? Again, this answer will never be fully satisfactory because it is something that doesn't feel good. Let's go back to the dawn of time when men were first created. There's a vibrational list, the emotional guidance system. You could Google it. There's all kinds of pictures out there. I'll put it on the screen right now. It's just a list of emotions 1 through 22, originally coined by Esther and Abraham Hicks. 1 through 22. High vibe, low vibe. When humans were first born, or whether evolution, Adam and Eve, whatever you believe, when the first round of humans came around, they were born in the lowest vibration, hopeless, powerless, despair, right? They were born like, how do we do anything, right? How do we stay warm when it gets cold? They had to learn how to build a fire, right? They had to learn how to build things to protect themselves from weather, from animals. But the original humans came down, and there was an active vibration of insecurity, of powerless, of all those lower vibe ones. Just look at the list. Okay. We're from source, pure positive energy. We actively made a choice of, we want to go experience Earth. What would it be like to be down there in a human body where you can touch, where you can feel, where you can speak, where you can play, where instead of just being like ethereal vibrations in source, but we could actually say hi. We could actually kiss. We could actually hold hands. Source was pure positive energy, so it had no idea that when it first came down, that it's, oh, wow, learning things in physical form takes time, right? Because sometimes your inner guidance is, you need that stone to start the fire. But if you see a saber-toothed tiger over there, you might go, ooh, my guidance system is telling me to go get that stone. That's what I need for this fire. Oh, there's a tiger, though. I'm going to go away from that, and I'm just going to go in the cave tonight and sleep. Pure positive energy source had no idea what it would be like down on Earth. That's why it's called living life on the leading edge of creation. You come down and you're, wow, how do we stay warm? Fire. Oh, how do we keep the fire going when it rains? Roof. How do we keep the fire going when it's windy? Walls. Well, now that this is all warm, how do we keep the ground warm? Floor. Raised off the floor. Leading edge of creation, always being tapped into yourself and being willing to ask for new good feeling things, right? We only got to the moon because enough people were like, how do we get to the moon? How do we get to the moon? Enough people thought the thought, mass consciousness. Some people were born because they wanted to be the scientist studying it. Some people wanted to be the person to actually step on the moon first, the astronauts. Some people just wanted to be born in the time to watch that happen. So it's knowing that you're supposed to expand and you're supposed to outgrow your parents, right? We're in the, 2021. We wouldn't want to still be relearning how to build a fire, right? I personally love my air conditioner. I love my heater. I like my plants that I can bring inside. So you're supposed to outgrow your parents. Your parents are only your launching pad. And I know that there can be emotions of it sucks, I feel disadvantaged. Why do I have to spend my time, my 20s, my 30s, however old you are, unscrambling my brain when others are out there just thriving, going on those vacations, happily married? So process those emotions, but don't get stuck in them. Your parents don't define you. You're supposed to outgrow them. Can you be willing to make a list? This is another good exercise for you guys. What is it that everything that your parents didn't teach you? Or what is it that everything you wish your dad would do for you? What is it everything that you wish your mother would do for you? Make that list, okay? And then you have a choice to go into despair. Some people like to call it victim mentality. I'll never get this. I'm ruined. I'm broken. No. It's okay. My parents are my launching pad. I'm unsatisfied that I have to learn this stuff. Right? I got to do a personal share right now. Guys, I grew up in a very abusive childhood. My mother was very depressed. She did not get off the couch. She didn't even shower. You know what I was taught when I was a kid? I was taught that you wear this is so embarrassing. You wear the same underwear for a couple of days. When that side gets dirty, you flip it around. Guys, I was the stinky kid in class in elementary and middle school. It was, was it TikTok, Instagram? I don't know. I was watching some social media. And it was just this podiatrist who went, I can't believe I have to make this video, guys. He was totally joking. He was obviously born into a very healthy family. He went, this is a shower. When you come to see a podiatrist, take a shower, wash your feet. Side benefits will be your dating life will get better. Do you know how embarrassed I was when I was older? I was much older, well past my 20s. I don't want to tell you how old I was. I'm a little embarrassed. I saw that video and I went, oh. I started showering. Sure enough, the little feet stuff cleared up. I don't have that skin that pills down there anymore. And my dating life improved. Normally I'd meet a guy, they wouldn't ask me out. Or they'd ask me out once and never again. Now I get dates, months. It can feel embarrassing. It can feel very humbling. It can feel very, fuck me. I'm at 32 and I'm learning take a motherfucking shower to get dates, to not be the stinky kid. I was like, that was a brutal moment for me. But are you going to make the choice to, okay, I do feel disadvantaged. I do feel all these negative feeling emotions. I do have some anger towards my parents. I want to learn these things though. So universe, this list of all the things that I don't think my parents gave me, or why I'm damaged, why I'm ruined, or what is it that I wish they would give me, show me how I can meet these. Okay, so now let's go through why do some go through abuse and some don't. It's the first round of humans we're born into that low vibration. Some choose to grow, so they've elevated for their default living experience to be higher up on that emotional list. Those people, the children born to them, are born into that higher launch pad. They have an easier time with relationships. They have an easier time with money. Some didn't grow out of it. And this is where this answer is not going to satisfy you guys. People came down to have different experiences. The mass consciousness overall has decided they want to go towards a more good feeling life. But that's the millennial generation. That's what we're doing from the 2000s and on, right? Because our parents were going through the Great Depression and the World War. Our parents and our grandparents, they had the world wars, right? The whole world was at war. You think any babies born to people who were actively fighting in a war, actively No, they did not have a great launching pad, but were they, okay, I see that my parents are in shock. I'm going to learn more. So you have to be willing to ask yourself, do you want to be the one that holds on to the old vibration, the vibration you were born into? Or do you want to be the one willing to face some unpleasant emotions so you can release those lower vibes within you and start actively learning how, teaching yourself, self education for how to get the new in, right? So when I was sitting there with a mom who met none of my needs, I started reading a lot of mother healing books. And there was like, every book was a little different, 5 to 8 core needs your mother's supposed to meet. And then it dawned on me, no, my mother was just the first person available to meet those needs for me. Now that I recognize them as core developmental needs that a person has, universe, how else can I meet these? I was fortunate enough to have an aunt who was very healthy, right? Mom, aunt, born in the same family. One was healthy, one wasn't. She fulfilled some of them. I've met random people and developed new relationships with them. Can you be willing to let go of using them as a reason, excuse, justification for why you don't have what you want, and just be willing to say, yeah, they did give me a low starting point. I don't like that. I want a new life. It sucks. I don't like that I have to go through this, right? Who the hell wants to be the 32-year-old stinky kid? Not me. I'm so embarrassed to have said that. Please be nice in the comments. But I'm glad I learned that. Are you willing to rapidly evolve, to rapidly grow? Developmental psychology. Intrapersonal, the relationship with your mind. Interpersonal. I'm giving you guys some keywords so you can go and Google it and teach yourself. Okay, so now let's go into, that's why some have abuse, some don't. The mass consciousness of humanity as a whole has not outgrown those vibrations that the first humans were born into. It's a simple answer. It's not a satisfying one, but that's the answer. The fourth point was, aren't babies pure positive energy? Yes, but I kind of covered this already. Yes, you have an inner being. I call it an inner being. Different religions and different things call it other things. And a higher self, your intuition. There is the part of you that is pure positive source energy, but you came down to experience the physical. This is where you get to tell Source, hey, Source, I see that you delivered this in my life. I have a preference for this instead, though, right? So a lot of spiritual workers, a lot of people who are working in the mental health field, oh, but this person was put in front of my life and I know the information for them. I had to help them at my sacrifice, at my detriment. You now get to say, and Spirit Universe, I now want to help people when it uplifts me, trusting that they can find help elsewhere. You got to be okay with starting to state those kinds of boundaries, those kinds of preferences. So I hope you take away from this video that you are not responsible for anyone else. Have it be a practice of, what is it that I think my mother didn't give me, my father didn't give me? What do I wish they would do right now? What are the exact specific things I wish they would say to me? The exact specific actions I wish they would take on my behalf? And sometimes it was, I just wish my mom would hug me. I just wish my dad would call me. You have that need, right? You got to be okay that they're not going to be able to meet that need necessarily. Universe, I skipped a step. How would you feel if your dad called you? I would feel loved. I would feel wanted. I would feel included. When you get to that emotional essence, all right, universe, show me how else I can feel loved, wanted, and included. That is going to be a profound spiritual practice for you guys for years to come. Comment below. Let me know how you guys like this video. I hope it helped.